The early morning light cast a golden hue over the quiet neighborhood of Willow Street, where every house looked like it had been painted from the same calm suburban palette. But beneath the surface of this stillness, something unsettling stirred. The birds seemed hesitant to sing, and even the wind passed quietly through the trees, carrying a strange tension that no one could quite explain. Officer Rachel Monroe stood beside her patrol car, sipping coffee that had long gone cold. She had been on countless calls in this neighborhood: noise complaints, domestic disturbances, the occasional runaway dog, but today, something felt different. Something felt off. And Max, her K9 partner, felt it too. Max was not an ordinary German shepherd. He had a presence sharp, loyal, and intelligent beyond explanation. He'd been through every kind of training the department had to offer, but Rachel had always said he was born to protect, not trained. His instincts had saved lives before, and Rachel had learned to trust them more than anything else. That morning, when they pulled up in response to a call from a concerned neighbor about a strange odor and a missing tenant, Max jumped from the vehicle with a purpose. His ears pricked forward, his nose working the air before his paws even hit the ground. Then he barked once, sharp and loud. And he ran straight toward the backyard of the old gray house on the corner. If you believe in the power of loyalty, second chances, and the unseen courage of animals, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Positive Tales. Your support helps us continue telling stories that matter, stories like this. Rachel called out to him, more out of habit than concern, but Max wasn't stopping. He barked again, louder, more urgent, and then began digging furiously beside the weathered wooden shed at the edge of the yard. Dirt flew into the air as he clawed into the earth with powerful, rhythmic strokes. Rachel's heart began to race. She had seen Max like this only once before, on a narcotics bust where he uncovered a hidden stash buried 6 feet deep. Whatever he sensed now, it wasn't drugs. It was deeper. Darker. As she followed Max into the yard, she was met by a handful of curious neighbors who had come to see what the commotion was about. Among them stood Mr. Pickens, the homeowner, looking more irritated than concerned. He waved dismissively at Max. "He's just a dog. Probably smells a rat or something. I don't know why you people always overreact," he scoffed, eliciting a few chuckles from the small group watching. A teenager even pulled out his phone to record Max's frantic digging, clearly expecting another crazy dog video for social media. But Rachel didn't laugh. She dropped to her knees beside Max, brushing back soil with her hands. That's when she saw it: fabric. Torn, stained, and partially buried. Rachel froze. She called in a code. The situation shifted in an instant. Within minutes, backup arrived. Crime scene tape stretched across the yard. Officers secured the perimeter while forensics began to excavate the area Max had unearthed. The mocking voices faded into silence as the horror of what lay beneath was revealed: a body. Female. Wrapped hastily in cloth, her face barely recognizable. An ID card was discovered clutched in one stiff hand: Maria Delgado. Missing for nearly 3 months. The same woman whose photo had hung on the missing persons board at Rachel's station, a bright-eyed schoolteacher who had seemingly vanished without a trace. And now, here she was, found by a dog no one believed. The shock rippled through the neighborhood like a slow-moving storm. The man who had mocked Max was handcuffed by sunset. He confessed within hours. The guilt, the pressure, the evidence, all undeniable. For weeks, the authorities had believed Maria had run away, perhaps tired of city life or struggling with some personal demons. But Max knew better. And now, everyone else did too. Rachel sat with Max late that night in the station's kennel. She stroked his fur gently, her thoughts tangled between pride and sorrow. Max had not just uncovered a body, he had uncovered the truth. He had given closure to a grieving family, justice to a voiceless victim, and clarity to a community that had turned a blind eye. And he had done it with nothing but his nose, his loyalty, and his unshakable will to protect. Over the next few days, media trucks flooded Willow Street. Cameras pointed at the yard where Max had dug, and microphones were shoved in Rachel's face. Everyone wanted to know about the dog who didn't give up, the hero K9. But for Rachel, the most powerful moment came quietly, when a boy walked into the precinct holding a faded photo of his sister. He was no older than 14, eyes swollen from days of crying. His name was Daniel, Maria's little brother. He stepped forward and gently knelt beside Max, who sat silently, sensing the grief, the weight. Daniel reached out, fingers trembling, and touched Max's head. "She always said dogs could see through people," he whispered. "She would have loved him." That single sentence broke something in Rachel. She knelt beside them, trying to hold back tears, but failed. This wasn't about headlines. It was about healing. About a boy who had been waiting for the truth, and a dog who had delivered it when no one else could. After the arrest, more details emerged. Maria had been trying to leave her rental home, had been suspicious of her landlord. She had written emails expressing fear, told friends she was moving out. But then she disappeared. When questioned, the landlord said she skipped town. And people accepted it. No one asked more. Until Max. The department gave Max a commendation. There was a ceremony, applause, even a new vest with his name embroidered in gold. But none of it changed Max. He still greeted Rachel every morning with the same tail wag, still curled at her feet in the cruiser, still barked when squirrels ran past. But something had changed for Rachel. Max wasn't just a partner now. He was a guardian of truth. A silent warrior. And she owed him everything. The case became a lesson, not just in investigation, but in listening to what we often ignore. The signs. The instincts. The silent cries beneath the noise of everyday life. Rachel began speaking at schools, community centers, even shelters, sharing Max's story. Not to boast, but to remind people that justice sometimes comes from the most unexpected places, from four paws and a heart too pure to look away. The most emotional moment came weeks later, when Maria's family held a small memorial in her honor. They invited Rachel and Max to attend. At first, Rachel hesitated, unsure if it was appropriate. But they insisted. During the ceremony, Daniel stood before a crowd of tearful faces and held up the same photograph he had once brought to the station. "This is my sister," he said, voice steady. "And this," he pointed to Max, sitting quietly in the front row, "is the dog who found her." When the world forgot, he remembered. When others walked away, he stayed. He brought her home. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Even Rachel found herself overwhelmed, not just by grief, but by gratitude. For a dog who never gave up. For the bond they shared. And for the silent message Max carried in everything he did, that love, loyalty, and truth can never be buried for long. If this story touched your heart, if you believe animals are more than just pets but guardians of truth and symbols of unconditional love, please like, share, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Your support helps us bring more real, emotional stories like this to light. Special comment request: if you've ever had a moment where an animal changed your life or revealed something deeper than words ever could, please share it in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else today.